Right, folks, so it's been a much more successful day today. As you can see, moving around, we've got our box complete. So we'll try and keep this video nice and short for those of you who don't like my long ranty ones, and just quickly run through the whole project. So we've got a frame unit made of the fence palings here. Interior's done thusly. Got a wee box there for storage. It's all part of the frame, and it's all attached to this couch, which is the frame. So the basic overall concept is do your frame using furniture as much as possible, and then we clad the exterior with foam, 50mm polystyrene foam here. So that end still requires trimming. This end I screwed up my trimming, so I've glued on an extra sheet of foam there, which I'll sand and cut out later. But we're all done with our basic box pretty much. Just tomorrow I'll come through once all the glue's fully dried, trim off the last of these bamboo pins that hold things in. On this side you can sort of see how that's done. Do all the last of the filling and whatnot, and then there's our basic foam box complete. My bro that I live with here actually gave me a box of old half-used glues and fillers and things, so today I was able to go through and fill cracks and do a bunch of stuff, which was cool. This thing's now been assembled with 3 different types of glue because I was just using different stuff. So the brown at the end is Sally's No More Nails glue, which glues foam well. I've also used 10-minute cure Gorilla Glue, which cures really quickly even in this cold weather, which is great. And then all through the rest of it we've used this orangey looking yellowy goop, which is just ordinary Gorilla Glue that comes in a bottle. There's one over there. So yeah, that's our unit. In here, up there and there, not too worried about the finish because that whole upper section will be eventually cut out right around where I've just videoed. So from this frame all the way around to this one, skipping the end frames there, we'll be filling with picture frames and glass. Down here we've added another piece of polystyrene behind the back of the shelf unit here, so my top shelf windowsill area is a bit wider. Over there you can see we've used a bit of expanding foam I found in an old can, so there's a bit left to just fill the gap between the ends of the shelf widthways on both sides. We'll trim all that out tomorrow and just go around and sort of clean things up in here and whatnot. Under here, under the shelf, we'll be putting some coat hooks in on the left and the right, where we can hang bags. I have 2 of them. I have 1 bag for my art stuff and 1 bag for my camping kit and personal gear. And then as you can see, beyond the end of the couch here, there is no floor. So we have about a square meter of space down there. What you're looking at now is just foam pads that are propping up the end of the wall while it dries. They'll get pulled out, so we just have an open space at the bottom, and then down the sides here, actually I'll have to film from this angle. Where are we? I did this the other day. There's an angle, there you go. You can see the ground there. So right around the periphery of the structure, everywhere apart from right at the back here, there's at least a 20mm gap, and then right at the end there we've got about a square meter of space. So lots of passive ventilation for cold air to drop out the bottom and not be all like cold and condensate creating on my roof and my walls. If that fails to work sufficiently well, obviously we can easily add a cheap 5-volt powered fan down in the gap unit here, and that is also where I can create a really small unit inside a metal can or something that hangs underneath this shelf unit in the middle, either in between where the 2 bags will be hanging, where my feet go, with like tea light candles in it, or a small gas unit or something like that. So we pump some oxygen at it, fresh air, so that we don't create carbon monoxide. Always burning fresh air, safety. And given how small this space is, the tiniest amount of additional heat will allow us to keep the inside very warm and dry, because we have 50mm of foam all around us, which is great. So yeah, pretty happy with the construction and process now. It's been a bit of a struggle the last few days, but this one we've done all right. Once we're done with construction, especially once we've got our windows in, this left-hand shelf full of nebulous crap and ornaments and stuff will go up on the windowsill. Art gear will go off to the left-hand side there food will stay there, and I've got a middle shelf that allows me to store more food and a few other bits and pieces like that, so we don't have to have everything in the sacks that hang here. The bags are just there for when I'm transporting. Well, on the right hand side will be my art bag, so all of this stuff usually goes in there, tattoo kit and whatnot. And then on this side is my tramping pack, which holds all of my clothes, the bivvy sack I'm currently sitting on, a bit of food, my gas cooker, all that other kind of shit. Cooking wise, all the stuff's just sitting over there in a pile at the moment. We're using this little table out here, which I'll put back in the side where it usually sits. And that's how we cook. Once this thing's all set up and built, and the hatch door still has to go in yet, so we've got another piece of foam over there and a lot of offcuts to build extra parts with. The hatch door will sort of lift up this way because it's a hatch, and that'll mean I can actually just store my gas cooker down to one side of the door, just lean out the side, open the hatch, prop it up. I'll have wee props on hinges and stuff down through here, kind of like the back of your car if you've got a hatchback. And yeah, that'll be a spot where we can just kind of run the gas cooker and heat water for coffee and make food and do things like that outside. And yeah, that's basically it. So this unit occupies just under 2 square meters of space on the deck, and once it's complete, solar panel in an open area if I had a different site where I could do so and face the end I'm pointing at now north. That's why all the windows and stuff go on this end. Just below the windows at the end would be, I've set up some base framing and stuff in the back there that would allow us to mount the solar panel to the end of the structure so that we can power it with solar. For now we're just using an extension cable because, as I've pointed out in other videos, I use so little power that I think if I run everything I own continuously off mains power and continuously charge it, which you can't do once the batteries are charged, they're charged, you unplug them. But even if I were to do that, I think I have to run for about a week and a half before I even use a kilowatt, which costs 20 cents. So yeah, I have very, very low energy needs, which is great. And yeah, given how small this space is, as I said before, you can use a tea light candle to heat it. That would produce enough energy. I used to use gas in larger structures, but gas is expensive. So yeah, we'll just go, well, compared to candles. So yeah, next stage will be to cover the entire structure after I've trimmed all the edges and sanded everything off and dressed it a little bit and stuff. We will cover the whole structure in glue, then cover it in cotton sheets and then glue over top of that and kind of do poor man's fiberglass all over the place. Although I was just talking to a bro who suggested actually Hessian sack might be better. It's a stronger material and it's probably cheaper to use, and we'll end up with a kind of cool textured result, which is cool. Either way, exterior will be black. And then in here, I'm thinking I will do the frames in black at least, same as the shelving unit, and then I may paint the walls white, I think. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do everything black and then just adhere white sheets of paper to the walls and put art up or something. Also talking to friends earlier, this is not a short video after all, sorry about that. One of the great things about this foam roof is at any point where I can find a cheap deal on like a shower dome or like a skylight type dome or whatever, I can cut holes in this roof and put domes in it as well, which should be really cool. So yeah, pretty stoked. We now, apart from a door, have ourselves a nice windproof insulated space, which is really, really cool. When I'm in there's about an inch clearance above my head when I'm sitting down. Obviously when I lie down there's plenty of clearance. So yeah, you can sit up and work in there and all the rest of it, and there's enough space in there to, as I said, with the hanging things under the shelves and the shelves themselves and all the rest of it, enough space to store all my gear. So yeah, eventually we'll put wheels on that end, handles on that end, and other framing things that will allow us to wheel this whole unit around like a trailer. It's a lot more rigid now than it was, now that all the foam's sort of pinned in place and glued on and stuff like that, which is really cool. That does mean that the foam sheet is bearing some stress in the structure, which is not ideal, but again, as I said, we'll be wrapping it in poor man's fiberglass, as we like to call it, with the cotton sheets and the glue, and that will take care of the structural loads created across the sheets so that they don't crack and stuff when I'm moving it around. So yeah, pretty happy. Estimated all up weight based on picking it up and stuff with all my gear in it is under 200 kilograms. So yeah, actual structure weight without all my stuff in it's got to be like 100, 120 maybe tops. probably less actually. So yeah, it's very easy to lift one end. So yeah, if it wasn't such a big wide box structure, I'm pretty sure actually that empty without the foam squabs and my gear and stuff, and I could probably actually pick this thing up. But with all my gear, and certainly with me, and it's solid enough to survive being in the wind and not blow away, so all good. Anyway, that's enough rants from me for today. We'll be back tomorrow or sometime in the next couple of days with another video of more progress on this, hopefully. Sweet as, team.